In Switzerland, the historic home of winter ice sliding. High in the Engadine Valley, the most scenic, picturesque and most ancient of all winter sports venues here in Switzerland. Hello everybody, I'm Martin Haven, alongside me John Morgan, settling down and getting ready for the fourth, final and deciding run of the Bauhaus FIBT four-man bobsleigh World Championships. And as ever, John, a massive crowd around this historic track.
Well, they come to watch a sport that they really love here in Switzerland. And it's the 38th time they've held this event since 1930. And Beat Hefty, the hometown favorite, did not disappoint. Good second run, good third run. He's put himself up into a bronze medal position. But boy, are there three teams right behind him within 10 hundredths. They're going to challenge him. Excuse me. He was 100th away from the bronze, excuse me. Rico Peter, the other Swiss sled, he came down with this unbelievable third run, and he is in a position that nobody expected him to be in. Third place, just 100th ahead of Hefty. Rico Peter, wow, he's in no man's land. Alexander Zubkov, he was in first place overnight, did not have a very good third run. Uncharacteristic mistake up in the Nash-Dixon. Russians might have saw their world championship hopes. Now this sled here, unbelievable that Max Arndt smoked the field in the first run, or in the third run. He put himself into a position that for another German world championship on this track, and there's been a lot of them.
Well, Max Arndt, the race leader, not since 1970, 42 years ago, has anybody other than a German or Swiss taken the World Championship gold here in St. Moritz. Zubkov's chances might have slid away. He was only 17th fastest in his third and penultimate ride. And Rico Peter and Beat Hefty lead a titanic battle for the medals. From third down to 10th, just 0.2 of a second. From third to 8th, only 0.08 of a second. There are 5 sleds that could easily take a medal here behind the top 2. And our fastest 20 sleds from the third heat will go through into the fourth. The remaining 14 crews will be like everybody else here trackside, interested spectators on a cold, a slightly blustery and perhaps even snowy day here in St. Moritz. We've had a few flakes of snow drop down. So far, nothing major to upset them. And this is what they're battling for, the Martineau Cup, named after the first president of the St. Moritz Bobsleigh Club, which was established in 1897, and since 1930, the best four-man driver of every season, world or Olympic champion, has been granted the privilege of owning it for a year. Stephen Holcomb brought it back to this icy St. Moritz track, and he may perhaps be having to hand it over to somebody else here this weekend. Well, conditions are... The track was very quick in the first of our 2 heats today. And this historic Swiss sliding centre always produces excitement. We saw the track getting quicker and quicker as the run progressed. The leaders were not at an advantage, but they will get the best ice in the final heat. Dawid Kupczyk of Poland, 20th after the third of our 4 heats, will be the first man off to start the 20 final sleds in this last run of the Bauhaus FIBT four-man bobsleigh World Championships. And for Max Arndt, silver medalist last year in the four-man in Lake Placid's World Championships, he may step up 1 spot higher here today. Well, as ever, lots of noise, lots of colour, lots of history at this St. Moritz bobsleigh track. This is where everybody wants to come, and to win a gold medal here in any competition is something very special indeed.
A lot of tension up top of this track. We had a lot of shuffling of the cards and movement of places, especially in the first 10. I expect no different here in the second heat.
Let's get the final run of the Bauhaus FIBT four-man bobsleigh World Championships underway, with Poland and the driver Dawid Kupczyk, 34-year-old. Daniel Zalecki, Paweł Moroz and Marcin Navarra are the crew. Now they are the first of our final 20 sleds. So guaranteed a top 20 finish, but they're a third of a second behind their closest rival. Everybody will have a target in mind, and theirs is to try and claw their way up the order in their final run.
13th best start. Oh, that will be a lot of pressure. Look at the left side here, the screen, 56.5. Keep track of that. That's the telltale sign of everything that happens at the bottom of the track is your start speed, not your start. Because then you have to get in your sled and get around that first curve.
Well, that was their fastest run, but a little bumpy in the load. His first 3 straights as he comes into Snake there, skidding as he did in the last run between Snake 1 and Snake 2.
This is Nash and Dixon. Sets you up for the pivotal part of the track. Horseshoe. High line. Does he get through? Perfect. Yes. Speed in the left. Keep track of that speed.
Ooh, 1.6 kilometers an hour slower than on his last run.
So maybe this track's not as quick as it was. It was pretty fast in the first run today.
He had 145.5 kilometers an hour last time down. And he's got 144.7. Comes across the line, 105.83. That's a 1/10 of a second slower than his last run. Well, a great welcome down at the bottom of the track for every one of these sleds in this World Championship competition.
The start, you know, you have to get in, get down before this first curve, no wavering. Too much pressure he takes here. Watch him come around this hard pressure to the right. That's not how to do it. And you want the start speed, which comes up right now to give you that clock right there. The start speed more important than the start. The start and getting in the sled and down, that's what you got to have a successful time at the bottom.
David Kupchik in the leader's box with the Martineau Cup. And the next of our sleds is Nick Cunningham from the USA, from Monterey, California, just 26 years old, World Cup rookie this season, a bull rider through college. His crew, Adam Clark, Andy Drabble and Chris Vogt. This National Guard sled in the top 10 starters, every one of their 3 runs. See if they can get down close to a 5-second flat.
12th best time of the 3rd run. 5:03, they've had great starts. Speed in the left, 56.9 is very good speed. You're going to see the good teams with even faster times than that.
Cunningham, his first time ever in St. Moritz. 4-man competition, 2-man competition last week, 4-man competition this, so this is now maybe his 18th trip down this track in his life.
And he's driving the Latvian sled. That's what he came to Europe to drive. And, you know, he's starting to feel more comfortable. Hasn't got the big speeds on the bottom in the first day. Second day, he wasn't too bad.
Nice exit, 108.9. That's very good speed there. 68 miles an hour just.
You know, they might have changed the setup on the sled overnight too, but he was 12th place in the 3rd run compared to 21st and 18th in the first 2 runs. 146.4 is huge.
Very good speed, 91 miles an hour exactly. Well, yesterday in the snowy conditions, they would have been using narrower runners to cut through the snow. So today, the sled feeling a little different. But that is a really nice run, and comfortably his quickest, John, nearly a 1/3 of a second better than his last run.
Fastest time of the 4 heats. Usually you don't get fast in the 4th heat, but Nick Cunningham's had a very good 2 days, or 2 runs here in the final day of the World Championships. The crossover into Horseshoe to Telephone, perfect. Good aerodynamic profile by the team. He could live in the leader's box a little bit.
Well, he might just do, but trying to bump him out of first place will be our next slider as we go 20 down to 1. A lot of these sleds will have a time advantage in hand, and that's true of Chris Spring, the 31-year-old Canadian, born in Darwin in Australia's Northern Territory. He now lives in Calgary in Alberta and slides for Canada. Jean-Nic Carrière and Sam Giguère on his crew, both French-Canadian CFL players, and Cody Sorensen joins them, starting at 3.
They got a little bit better, similar starts to Cunningham. Ooh, a lot of pressure coming around there, 5:08, but watch the speed, 56.9 for Cunningham, 56.7. 0.2 of a kilometer. You don't think that's very much, but in a sport dealing with hundreds of seconds, it's a big factor.
Cunningham came up from 20th place to 18th, but Chris Spring from 18th overnight didn't move up in the third of our heats. At the moment, he's showing green numbers. He is in the lead. 2/10 up at the start. Will he have a lead as he gets out of Horseshoe? Gap's coming down. He's got 2/10 of a second.
Oh, but he's got much better speed, 109.2. That's the best speed we've seen. Boy, the track maybe has something left in it.
Yes, it looks like it. 68 miles an hour, and they accelerate really hard now. These fast four corners will bring them up to close to 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is going to be
91.3.
That's
Quick, really good speed for Chris Spring in the Canadian sled.
Whoa, he pulled away. 105.13. That's his fastest time of the four heats. I think we're going to see this all the way down the field, which means we're going to probably see some track records before the end of this competition.
Well, he came down 200ths of a second quicker than Nick Cunningham on that trip to just keep his lead alive. See the guys with ripped suits, the spikes on their running shoes. You have to thread your legs around the guy in front.
The lines up top, a little late there. That's from Snake into Sonny.
Cunningham offers his congratulations with the beard there. Chris Spring, our new race leader. 17 sleds remain in the World Championships here in St. Moritz. Sam Giguère and Jean-Nic Carrière looking very happy with their final trip. Simone Bertazzo next up for Italy. The last man who was not German or Swiss to win a World Championship gold medal in four-man here in 1970 was the Italian Nevio Zezzoro. But I'm afraid that Bertazzo, a bronze medalist in two-man in 07 games here, is not going to be the next Italian to win. A few more flakes of snow coming down as well, John Morgan. Is only going to make a little more spice to the mixture.
They've had the 21st best start time in all three heats. 5:12 in the last heat.
We had a smoking run off 21st. He drove into 12th fastest run, but that was an awful
56 low. 56.2, there it is. That was not a good exit of curve one. You could see good third run. Red numbers, gone. That mistake, the load, getting in and out of curve one, too much pressure. He's a good driver. He can overcome the deficit. If he stops the bleeding, keeps it about 8 or 9 at the next clock, he's got a chance at the bottom. Big speed, and he could get himself back in the green numbers. Ooh, he hits the lip. 13, 109, nowhere.
Oh, dear.
He's going to lose a lot of time. Back.
Coming unraveled for the Italian Simone Bertazzo. Chris Spring is going to stay in the leader's box, 2/10 of a second back. Bertazzo's speed last time, 146.7. He won't get close to that this time, surely. Too many mistakes, he does, 146.8, but that's only the same as the Canadian sled. He won't close this quarter of a second margin, and the Canadians stay in the lead.
Well, the start, you know, you saw what he did on the bottom part of the track. He had huge speed, but you can't make that deficiency up in the first 150 meters of the track, which that start is so critical. We will see some great technique from the best starting teams in the world coming up. Here he hits the roof meaning the lip of the curve. Watch these pictures. And that's a different, that wasn't a ricochet off it. It's, you know, the guy leading the competition, Max Arndt, hit the roof in the third heat, and he's the fastest guy at the bottom, so maybe that's the line.
Chris Spring receives congratulations from Simone Bertazzo. Next up, Spring's closest rival, Lyndon Rush. Canada won with Jesse Lumsden, Lascelles Brown, Neville Wright. A dreadful start where Lascelles Brown was hanging off the side of the sled in the first corner in the second start yesterday. They had a much better start this time.
Yeah, but they had a bad load, and they had one of the lowest speeds. They had like a 56.2. This team of athletes should be up in the high 56s with that start speed.
I have to say, Lascelles Brown limping at the end of the third heat.
Get in, get down quick. Lascelles Brown, too many steps.
Well, he has
watch,
to.
He's not going to get settled. And watch the speed in the left here, 56 what?
That's a big start.
But it's fifth there. There's the 56.9. That's what they didn't have in the first heat.
Yeah.
They had 56.2. That was a bad load. Now in the second heat yesterday, they had a collision at the start. Lascelles Brown fell out of the sled. They somehow pulled them back in. They're still in the competition and not disqualified. And Lyndon Rush hasn't had a good run. in the 4 heats so far.
Well, no, he's been 11th, 20th after that start, and only 14th fastest in the 3rd heat. That's not where you expect to find Canada's lead driver. Talking to him before the start, he's saying hoping for a much less dramatic day today, but he could do with a little sprinkling of drama here to get some speed out of this sled.
And he definitely wants to stay in front of his teammate, Chris Spring.
109.1 is the 2nd best speed we've seen, but slower than Spring. Gap still 2/10.
Speed in the bottom.
146.8. What has he got? We can't see, but he has the lead at the line. Wow, that's what you want.
I told you.
If you're going to lose out to your teammate and he gets a track record, then okay, fair enough.
Best heat of the 4. Lyndon Rush would have done that 4 times. He'd be not back of the pack like this.
Yeah.
He'd be up there in the top 5 or 6. Start. Well, this is what they couldn't achieve in the 2nd and the 3rd run. They had all problem. 3rd run, they were just conservative. And, you know, the entry, get in, get down with proficiency. And around that first curve, look at the runner tips. You can't see that there, but here in the horseshoe, look at the exit. 2nd best speed out of horseshoe to his teammate, Chris Spring. And he had a better start than Chris Spring, so he should have better speed.
So Lyndon Rush in the lead with a track record. Are we going to see the record fall? I think we may do before this gold medal is won. Next up, Oskars Kibasmanis of Latvia. A young man starting his driving career this season. He only got behind the handles of a bobsleigh for the first time in the autumn of 2011. Former decathlete and huge fan of AC/DC. Well, which bobsledder isn't?
5:03 start in the 3rd run, 7th best start time, great speed. Now watch this one, 5:01 start speed in the left, 57.2.
That's great. That's 35.5 miles an hour after 50 meters of running speed into the sled. It's incredible acceleration from just 4 men.
It's unbelievable that the Latvians can continue to bring the athletes from that small nation down here to compete on this level. They have one of the youngest pilots in the field, and they say this kid is a future superstar in the sport.
19 years old, 6 foot, and already 210 pounds of explosive power.
108.6. That's not the speed that the Canadian sleds had. So that number is going to come back to 6. Now it's going to get close.
Oh, high lines there. He's got to control that a little more. Little skid. Big skid. 146.2. He'll go behind. Lyndon Rush of Canada will pick up a spot. Yes, he does.
600s.
There we go. One spot.
So they aren't that happy. They don't want to be back here.
They want to be picking up spots when the final 3 sleds are going back, not when the guy who was 15th, who's only 19 years old, is going back. But
remember this name.
Yeah.
Take a look at this face. You might be seeing it for the next decade in this sport. The lines here, these big 4 left-hand curves. Look at the runner tips. Look at the speed. He had the 5th best speed off the mark. Look at the aerodynamic profile of the team. You can see some shoulders back there, but they're a young team.
Next up for the Netherlands, Edwin van Kalker, another driver who, like Lyndon Rush, should be battling for medals, not the top 10. Lyndon Rush is our race leader at the moment. 14th place after the 3rd of our 4 heats is Edwin van Kalker with Yannick Greiner, Sybren Jansma and Jeroen Pik. And the Dutch starting just inside the top 20 instead of inside the top 5 because van Kalker's hamstring injury from Whistler in December is still troubling him. He's not even pushing at half fitness.
2nd best time of the 3rd run. This 6'7" driver, 6'6" driver had any kind of a hamstring left, they'd have a better start. Oh, push bar issues there, speed in the left. 56.6, yeah, half a kilometer down to the Latvian, but he's got better ability. Look at that, 20th, 13th, and 2nd.
Yeah, that's some improvements. There's only one place to go from there, isn't there?
You aren't going to see that variance at all in a bobsled race.
So in 2 heats, he clawed himself up from 20th to 14th spot. Can he jump higher now?
Oh, not like that. And he made 2 mistakes. He made the mistake on the take on into Nash, and it cost him on the outlet of Nash into Dixon. 2 taps. speed. 109 is the optimum. He's got that. And this should allow him to pull away, but boy, there was a lot of turn.
Top speed at the bottom, 146.9 from Lyndon Rush. This is another Eurotech-built sled, same as the Canadians.
Look how low that 6'6" driver is on that sled. His eyes.
147,
big speed.
Fastest we've seen.
Look how low he is sitting in that sled.
Wow, the gap came down to 1/10 of a second, but he is our leader as Lyndon Rush and crew depart the leader's box. Ivo Danilevich, the coach there, he's had some big results on this St. Moritz track. It's another one that he really loved in his driving career.
The Dutch, Edwin van Kalker, had a hamstring. I think they'd be up in the top 5 or 6. Look at him, he's barely running. The driver on the right side of your screen, those feet, he gets in 3 steps too quick. Look how quickly the rest, everybody else is in and down. And these are the tallest men in the competition. There's your tag on the entrance to Nash and on the outlet. So that tag he made on the entrance cost him there too on the outlet. So where you come in the corner has a lot to do as you come out.
Same as auto racing, good in, good out. Lyndon Rush leaves the leader's box as Jan Verber of the Czech Republic gets ready at the top of the track. Third fastest of all the sleds in the 34 sled field in his third heat. Really jumped up the order.
Well, he went in that position where the track started to get warmer. The track gets faster. You know, it's a natural track. This is not those refrigerated tracks that we slide on the rest of the world. This thing here got some personality.
Yeah,
this changes the sport.
Does freaky things. Just turned 31.
Hey, decent start speed. Yeah. I like that.
This is a track he has always really excelled on. If you look pretty much throughout his career, St. Moritz will almost inevitably have the best results, despite the fact this is one of the biggest fields of every season.
Watch the Sonny. Watch his line. Does he go to the left side here? Perfect. Watch the exit, left side. Perfect. Now, medium high line, get up near the roof. He does. Now, look for the 109km+ speed. There's the biggest speed so far.
Wow.
You get those good lines up in Nash and Dixon and the Exeter Horseshoe, and he's got the fastest speed so far. And this is a small fish in the field. The Czechs work with less than everybody else. This is a great result for the Czechs. If he stays ahead of the Dutch here at the bottom. 146.8, not as good as the Dutch, but it should be enough to put him in the lead.
So he will take the lead from the Netherlands. And 105.12 is another really good run.
Congratulations to the Czech Republic. They don't have a lot of big budgets to work with. This is a great result, and you'll hear it from them. Watch. Good job, Jan Weber. Look at the line, the high. Look at the profiles of the riders. Look at who's got the best speed by a lot. Almost a full kilometer. That's because of excellent driving up on the top of the track. Good load by the team. Down here on the bottom, look at the aerodynamic profile. You don't want to see helmets. This is out of the 4-corner combination.
Jan Verber smiles as he moves into the leader's box, holding on to the trophy for a moment at least. Next up, you can hear a lot of noise from the other Russian athletes, and Alexander Kazyanov, Peter Masayev, Maxim Belugin and Kirill Antuk at the top of the track. Kazyanov and his teammate Dmitry Abramovich both excluded from the 2-man World Championships after taking each other's sleds in the second heat by mistake. No such errors here, I can guarantee.
Ninth, start. 6th, 20th. Not a very good third run. Did the same thing in the third run, and here in the fourth run, tapped. But very, very good start speed. But I think that's going to be thrown out the back because that little tap on the Exeter one's going to cause, right where he tapped is where that start speed clock is.
57 kilometers an hour, 35.5 miles an hour as he comes through Sunny Corner. No sun on it yet today. It's a little bit cloudy, still some snow in the air.
Yeah, there's the mistake. Now he's going to have all he can do to maintain a 109km speed. It might be a low 109.
John, he had 100
he's got
over
it.
Jan Verber. He's got the top speed. He's going to stay in front of the Czech Republic.
Even with that big mistake he made on the entrance to Dixon. It's coming back a little bit.
10th of a second away from a top 10 finish after 3 heats. Can he claim that spot? 1:46.8 is not bad. Second or third quickest at the bottom of the track.
Track record!
Wow.
What could he have done if he was clean? The exit of curve 1, and then in the Nash and Dixon. For the rest of the line drive down, you know, I've said all along that Kasanov has got a lot of talent. If he had that other Russian team that Zubkov has, you might see him challenging for the medals every week. Here's the mistake up in Nash Dixon. Watch the left side of your screen. He's trying to get over there in Dixon. Tap. That's a lot of time. Good line here though. High line. Look at the aerodynamic profile of the team. They're buried in the back there. Look at that brake, but you can't see his head.
Track records for Alexander Kasyanov, and that will not be the last, I think, somehow on this St. Moritz track that is getting quicker by the minute. Next up, Latvia's Oskars Melbardis. Third place after the first heat. A dreadful second run yesterday dropped him down out of the top 10, and he clawed his way back into 11th place with his third run. And John, that tells you everything about his problems. Consistency, he just can't get it.
First heat, third, he's got the best start time in all 3 heats. The first, second, third heats, though, his teams had trouble around the first curve. They're going to have the best start, but the coach should tell him, get in, get down quick, get settled. And, you know, come on, just take it. A lot of pressure. Look at the runner tips. Just can't do it. You know, the best start, 57.2. He should be out 57.45 if his team loaded in that sled better. And now, the drive down the track, he's not one of the better drivers down the track yet. But with his start speed that this guy could generate, he's a threat at the Olympics next year.
700s up after the first heat. He's doubled that as he gets to Sunny over current leader Alexander Kasyanov. Melbardis still in the green.
Brand new Latvian sled. Broke it out of the box this week. It's still in primer color.
Oh, the gap's come down.
Speed.
A kilometre an hour too slow. He's going to go back.
He's going to get reeled in here pretty quick for the Russians because they flew in the bottom part of the track. Down to 1. Now the question is he going to, how many spots is he going to fall back?
Well, he only had 147 kilometres an hour at the bottom on the last run. The track's quicker, but he's barely any quicker. He's still in the red towards the line. Will he be in second or third? Oh, he pulls it back and somehow, in those final corners, gets the speed out of the sled.
That was a little perplexing there.
Well, they're still accelerating through the speed trap, so this
so good lines.
Primer sled just holds on.
Good lines in the straightaway at a leap into Martineau, which is the 90-mile-an-hour speed. Here's Horseshoe. Look at the heads, the way the riders are riding behind the driver. Now the exit. He's not happy with himself.
Yep. No, he doesn't want to be ecstatic with himself, but it is Oskars Melbardis that leads in the halfway stage of the final run of the Bauhaus FIBT 4-man Bobsleigh World Championships here in beautiful St. Moritz.
Meine Damen und Herren, nach dem ersten Ziel von 20 Schritten in 4:21:79 mit einer Laufzeit im vierten Lauf von 0:04:0. Und Alexander Kasyanov, er liegt 406. Nachher den neuen Fanrekord steht in den neuen Fanrekord auf in 1:04:97. Meine Damen und Herren, wir haben die Bankrekorde, die über mehrere Jahre gelten, denn unsere Piste ist aus Natureis und ist jedes Jahr etwas anders gebaut. Die zwar immer gleich, aber die Unterschiede sind doch da. Und deshalb kennen wir nur Saisonrekorde und nicht absolute Bankrekorde. 1 minute to go, 1 Minute. Auf Platz 3 Jan Gulba aus Tschechien mit 20 Hundertstel Rückstand auf Platz 4 von Kalkar aus Niederlande 46 Hundertstel Rückstand und auf Platz 5 die Kanadier von Lindenhorst. Die große Überraschung mit einem Rückstand von 56 Hundertstel. Auf Platz 6 die Rennleiter von Oskar. In der Startbox die Startnummer 13. Zehnter Rang nach 3 Läufen. Das Team Francesco Fredrik,
Alles nochmal, Jungs. Auf, Jungs! Alles! Setzt dann auf! Auf! Alles nochmal! Komm jetzt!
Top of the track, St. Moritz in Switzerland. Final 10 sleds to go in the 4-man bobsled World Championships. And here's the junior world champion in 2- and 4-man, 22-year-old sensation Francesco Fredrik. Also won the 2-man World Championship a week ago today. Now he's in 10th spot, looking to move up on his final run, just 2/10 away from a medal.
Boy, big hit there on the exit of 1. He started with the 8. He started very well in the heat. He went 7th in the first heat, 5 in the second heat, and 18th best time in the 3rd run. And that, I think, is reflective of one of the sleds going early that just found a frosty line on the way down.
The first few runners were definitely not advantaged by the frosty track.
No problem for Max Arndt, the second guy down in the competition today. Oh, major hit out between Nash and Dixon.
Well, this youngster was only 300ths of a second in front of Oskars Melbardis of Latvia, but he's got the lead back again. Wow, 110.1 kilometers an hour.
Speed.
68.5 miles an hour.
Our 2-man champion right here from last week. The last German to win double world championship here was in 2001, Christoph Langen. I don't think he's going to win the world championships, but he's just looking for a top 10 finish, and he's got a wild ride going. Huge speed, but just wild lines. 9th best time of the run.
Well, John, that was all bled away below Horseshoe. He got the lead.
He was out of control.
Skidded wildly.
Oh, you know, he hasn't figured out the 4-man yet. The 2-man world champion, junior world champion also. I mean, the only guy I know that's won the junior world championship and the senior championship in the same year. But that was some hellacious ride.
The Germans used fatter runners for the snow, thinner runners for the snow yesterday, using non-snow runners today. The feel is different.
Here's the Nash Dixon. Watch the left side of your screen. Watch how hard he hits here, too. That's a hard hit. Now, down to the speed part of the track. This is where he had the best speeds next to the Horseshoe, but he couldn't control the speed. He got up way too high and leap. Sled out of control. Sled still out of control here into the finish.
Ooh.
That's going uphill. Look at the coach, Christoph Langen. He won double gold here in 2001. And Francisco, you still had a great competition.
A double junior world champion and a 2-man senior world champion. Well, next up, Dmitry Abramovich. Again, just 0.2 of a second away from a potential medal. If he has a meteoric run, what might happen for the Russian? Alexei Pushkarev, Dmitry Stepushkin, and the Man Mountain, Alexei Voyevoda on the back of the sled. Perhaps the most famous Russian winter athlete.
Get in, get down, quickly. Push bar still
Wow,
out.
5 flat.
Push bar still out. 57.3's great speed. If this hits one time up here,
it'll rip it off.
well, no, the time's gone. They won't rip it off. But now it's dangerous.
Well, the brakeman with his head buried. Voyevoda has no idea it's out. He's clicked it back in.
No, he didn't click it back in. I think it hit right before Snake.
400s. He is starting to pull away from Oskars Melbardis of Latvia. This was a tiny little group of sleds. 3 of them covered by 500ths of a second.
Oh,
and a big
major
hit.
mistake. No speed. 108 flat. Terrible mistake by Abramovich, the 2007 junior world champion. He's won World Cup medals before. Injured the last couple years. Made a reappearance.
100th of a second. Melbardis had 147 kilometers an hour. He's not got it. He goes back. Melbardis didn't like his run, but it's already moved him up 2 spots as the Russians fail. He goes down to 3rd. Well, Melbardis might contemplate a little bit of a smirk, but still ruining the mistakes in his own run.
Mistake at a Horseshoe. It's like a turnover in football, or hockey, or basketball. But this is major. High, comes out too early, and left side, crushes the left side before the take on. The sled goes up in the air. That just, look at these pictures, beautiful pictures from our team. Wow, that's...
Рыбка, я люблю тебя, Галюша!
I wouldn't be happy about that.
I think he's happy to have completed safely. Next up, Manuel Mahata, standout four-man driver from his World Cup debut last year. We won his first ever senior four-man race. 1/1400 of a second separate him in 8th from bronze.
Yeah, but the world champion here from 2011 didn't have very good second, third run. 10th place in both those runs. He was 5th out of the first heat. And as you can see, the only guy wearing glasses behind those visors. Nemesis at the start, only the 11th best start.
Oh, big skid.
This has got to be 56, yeah, 56.8. Now, you know, he's already got a deficit. Look how low his eyes are on that Cowan. 5th, 10th, 10th. Boy, that mistake right there. If he's perfect down here, he might have a chance to overtake Melbardis. But I don't know if he's got a chance to move up. But there's the runner tips again on the exit of Snake into Sonny.
He was a 10th up from the first heat. He is tied. He has lost all of his first round advantage to Oskars Melbardis of Latvia.
109.5 speed to give him a chance.
Easing away.
110 speed.
That's exceptional speed, the same as Melbardis, but he is adding to the advantage. Melbardis was wild at the bottom, had a big skid on the final straight. Mahata must keep this sled under control the way Friedrich couldn't, and he just about does. 146.6 is slower than Melbardis. It's going to be to the 100th, John. 1300s up becomes 1100s at the line. 200s off the track record.
Yeah. He knows that's not the best performance from the guy who won the World Championships in Königssee in 2011. Manuel Mahata just hasn't had any kind of start times to allow him to compete the way he did a couple years ago. And the start times deal with the driver, the first guy in. What an exit here. Look at the aerodynamic profile. Look how low those drive. Look at the, you can't even see those helmets in the back, number 2 and number 4. And the exit and the slingshot effect on the bottom part of this track, perfect. Here, he's flying so fast. Hasn't practiced at that speed in a couple days. Skids there. Ivo Ferriani, president of the International Bobsled Scale Federation, congratulates him. Rennie Spies, former coach, former competitor for Germany.
Top of the track, 7th place after 3 of our 4 heats is Thomas Florschutz, the 34-year-old, 0.08 of a second from a medal. From his position, 7th down to 3rd, 5 sleds covered by literally less than the blink of an eye. This is where the World Championships will catch fire.
6th, 7th, and 8th, just hasn't got it going. And his green Saxon sled, speed 56 and change, 57 flat. That's good.
That's their fastest
Look
start.
at the aerodynamic profile here. I mean, that's, boy, these sleds, they're built to fit those big German athletes. Florschutz won the bronze medal last week. He came from 8th or 9th back in the first run, clawed his way back into a medal, just beat out USA's Steve Holcomb. We saw him afterwards. He was crying for an hour.
He could make it onto the podium here again. He's pretty relaxed about his results. Getting the medal was what he wanted. If he could get a 4-man as well, oh, big bump.
No, late there too. 110.4 though.
Wow, that's sensational speed.
Didn't like either one of those exits of Horseshoe or Telephone.
Well, we saw the other green sled from Saxony of Francesco Friedrich wild through these fast 4 corners. Can his compatriot keep it tidy?
Oh, the big magic number, 448.1.
Is
92
this enough?
miles an hour.
Is that enough to put him in with a shot of a medal?
That's the run you expected Thomas Florschutz to have yesterday at least once and twice today.
3rd time the track record has been broken in this heat alone, and there are still the fastest 6 sleds to come.
And he wasn't perfect. He made mistakes in Horseshoe. Here's up in Snake. As he comes around Snake into Sunny, look at the runner tips. You know, he's trying to get over in the take on of the curve. And here, down in the fastest part of the track, look who had the best speed. The veteran Thomas Florschutz. Wow, boy, did he, even with those mistakes, he flew.
0.08 of a second off the podium after 3 heats. He could take a medal still. Well, there's a lot of talent trying to get that podium position. The reigning world champion in 4-man and Olympic champion in 4-man is Stephen Holcomb. The night train crew, Justin Olsen, Stephen Langton, Kurt Tomasevich, 3 Olympic gold medal winners still in this crew, and Steve Messler, their teammate, is watching trackside. Florschutz leads, Holcomb challenges.
This night train team had great starts. Not great starts, top 6, but great speed around the first curve. This should be 57.4 or 5.
Wow, 498. Huge start from the team.
57.3. That's not bad. I think 57.4 or 5. We'll see somebody do that. Holcomb did not have a very good third run. He had the 16th best time of the third run.
And that may have just been enough to rob him of a medal here.
He still can have a great run here. Still has a chance, but his nemesis last time was the exit of horseshoe. Let's see him get through here. Left side of your screen, perfect. Now down to the middle of the screen, medium high line, and he hit hard here last time. Not bad. Speed should be 109.8, not the German speed of 110.
2/10 up on Florschutz. There were 200s between them after 3 runs. Oh, big skid. But he's still got the lead. A 10th will go of that. What's he got at the bottom? 148 for Florschutz, 147.8. Very close for the night train. He's going to have the lead at the line. Stephen Holcomb, the reigning world champion. Another track record. You're going to have to beat the track record to win this medal today.
Holcomb beat Florschutz at the start. Florschutz had better speed the way down, but the USA did what they had to do. They had to go down, maintain their placing, and hope sleds coming up can't match their track record. But here at the start, I mean, you're talking the most experienced 4 guys in the sled in the last 4 years. These 4 right here. Watch them get in and get down with such cat-like movements, we say, and around the first curve, perfect. Down here in the bottom part of the track. Little skid there, right out of bridge.
Well, great load from the night train crew. They're the size of linebackers. They drop in like they're small children. Stephen Holcomb leads with 5 to go. Tied for 4th after 3 of the 4 heats of the 4-man bobsleigh world championships. Great Britain's John Jackson, Stu Benson, Bruce Tasker and Joel Fear on the A-team in George, their 4-man. 1/100th of a second away from the medals. This could be a massive, massive day for British bobsledding. Last major medal in a 4-heat race was 1998 in the 4-man in Nagano.
Great starts. 499, 499, 502. They should be sub 5 seconds here.
Oh, and a horrible load. But 497.
97 speed, 57.2. A little bit. 1/10 of a kilometer behind, but those playing with those rudder tips. Look at his second run yesterday. First, third run today, 6th. John Jackson in the biggest heat of his bobsled life.
Well, the team gave him everything at the start, and now it's up to Jacko to try and use that speed. 600ths of a second back behind the 4-man world and Olympic champion Stephen Holcomb.
Gonna need 110 kilometer speed or close to it down here on the exit of horseshoe.
Good smooth exit. He could bring the gap back. 110.2.
This is gonna be right to the 100. Perfect lines in the speed part of the track.
Little wild as he gets through Devil's Dyke.
Right here, coming up. Look at the rudder tips here.
Needs 148s. Has he got the speed? 147.6. He's still in the red. 700 of a second at the last clock. Can he get to the line? No. So the night train moves on. John Jackson in second place. Pete Gunn and Lee Johnson will be very pleased with that result. Guarantee themselves a top 6 world championship finish.
Great result for Great Britain. That skid up there in the exit of curve 1, where they saw the runner tips going back and forth. The start, these great athletes. Britain has been very impressive all year with their 4-man starts. And here around the first curves, this is where his mistake was. Watch the runner tips.
Well, Stu Benson couldn't quite drop in, and the sled moved as a result.
That's at least 600s. Rest of the way down, John Jackson drove great.
Even that trip, half a second quicker than his very best earlier on today. So now we get into the medals. 100 separating 2 Swiss sleds battling for the bronze with Stephen Holcomb. Baird Hefty tied for 4th. the world champion in four-man as a brakeman last time they were here in St. Moritz.
Listen to the crowd. Oh, not good. That was not very good. 496 speed. 56.8. That load in the sled was not good. He hit in the early part of the first curve. They were not settled. And that should reflect in his time.
He's gone behind already. He was 500s up over Stephen Holcomb at the start, and he is in the red. Now he's got to drive better than the world and Olympic champion just to stay in front with 3 more sleds to follow him.
Good lines in Nash and Dixon. Now in the pivotal part of the track, horseshoe. Listen to the crowd.
To the crowd, indeed. 1:10.3, it's quick. Is it quick enough?
Better speed than Holcomb. He could pull him back.
A 10th back, but he knows this track a little better than Holcomb. He's got a few more trips down. Is it going to be enough to put a Swiss into the medals? 1:48. Holcomb was a whisker slower. It could be a tie line. Oh my goodness, Holcomb 1 step closer to the top 3.
Yeah, Holcomb won that race in the first 100 meters at the start. His team, with this Olympic proficiency in the sled at the start, the Swiss couldn't match that. And that's why they're just 4 or 500s after 5 miles of distance.
In that Swiss crowd somewhere is Ivo Rugg, who won the four-man gold in 2007 with Hefty braking for him.
The start, this is what happened to him here. They didn't get in and get down around that first curve. And then, here on the bottom part of the track, good speeds, but not good enough. That's into Sonny.
Well, it is not over yet for the Swiss crowd. They have another ace up their sleeve. Rico Peter, 2100s away from second place, lying third overnight. After the third heat, rather, he has got to beat Stephen Holcomb.
Come on, baby.
There's Holcomb, our leader. But this next Swiss sled. Let's listen to the crowd. This kid has never been in this position in his life. He's never won a World Cup medal. This crowd will go crazy. Gives up a lot of time at the start. 15th, 16th, and 13th best starts. Now the speed, look at, that's not good. Speed of left, 56.9, not bad. That's not bad considering the start deficiency. They had a good load in the sled, and this kid was flying in the third run. 4th best time of the run to move up about 5 places, put himself in a medal. This is uncharted territory for this kid.
He drove himself from 10th to 3rd in the third heat. He knows he's got the chance to do it here. He's behind Holcomb.
Little drift there. That side of, he's got a lot of steering here. 110 speed, the only chance he's got. He's got it. 1400s, a lot to overcome on the bottom. Perfect lines on a track that he knows better than anybody else in the field left. Down to 10. This is going to go right to the 100th. This is for the bronze medal. 8. Big speed. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the United States is going to win the bronze. They do.
4th place for Rico Peter. Holcomb is in the medals, and it is still not over. Eric Allard can't believe it. Both Swiss sleds, 3rd and 4th, after the first 3 heats, have dropped out of contention because Hefty is 2nd. Rico Peter now in 4th spot. Could not find the speed.
Before horseshoe, watch the right side of your screen. He comes in, he taps there. I said he's gonna have to steer hard into horseshoe. Still had great speed, but he could have had greater speed without that entry mistake into the big horseshoe curve. Still great result, his best result ever.
Well, he looks downcast because he's let a medal slip through his fingers. Only 4th now, he cannot win a medal. Holcomb leads, 2 to go to stop the USA defending their world championship. Russia's Alexander Zubkov was our overnight leader by 500ths of a second. He overturned Max Arndt's 500th lead from Heat 1. There's your leader, Stephen Holcomb. Russia and Germany still to come. Zubkov has won 5 races already in this regular season. Can he win a World Championship title?
Watch how big these 4 Russians are, and they get down so quick. And watch their start speed. Should be 57 change. 57.4, better start speed than Holcomb. The Russians give up a little bit at the start to get those 4 big men into the sled before the first curve so that Zubkov can be settled. That's why they have the best start speed of the competition so far. He had a terrible 3rd run. I don't expect that here from him in this 4th run.
Only 17th in the 3rd trip. He's opened up a quarter-second advantage over Holcomb now to 3/10. Zubkov cannot let this slip.
110 change. No!
109.7.
Not very good speed.
Gap's coming down.
Surprised. It's not done anything wrong.
The Russians complained about the Germans' runners when they didn't win gold in the 2-man. They need to look a little inside. They haven't got the speed out of Horseshoe. 146.9. They haven't got the speed at the bottom of the track. It should be enough to lead from Stephen Holcomb. It is by 12 hundredths.
6th best time of the run. So they get a silver medal, but Zubkov, the overnight leader, had the 17th best time. He's happy.
He is jubilant to take a World Championship medal here in the 4-man.
Well, you're giving him the silver? Still 1 sled to go.
It's a World Championship medal. I didn't say which color.
I thought you said silver.
Oh, no, you said silver. I just said a medal. He is thrilled with that. And you know what? Look on his face. That's relief.
Good lines. I mean, this is as good as it gets. Look at the team. Look at the helmets riding behind them. Look at the transition. The heads are barely moving without that G-force on the exit of the curve and the entrance of the next curve. Just textbook run, just wasn't as fast as it looked.
Well, that was a look of relief on his face that he held on. But now for Max Arndt of Germany, a great opportunity. First in the 1st and 3rd heats.
The start, 2nd best start of the 3rd run when he put it all together.
Last year's silver medalist in Lake Placid. Can he go 1 step higher here? 5:02 is all he needs.
57.2, big speed there. Not the best. Max Arndt put himself on that Martineau Cup down there where there's a few other German names since they've been handing that trophy out since 1930. Arndt hasn't had a great year. He was disqualified in 1 race in 2-man earlier this year when he went too fast.
2011 4-man junior world champion. Can he make it a senior world championship title 2 years later? Great high line. Look at the silky smooth exit.
110.1, this is enough speed.
He's got it over the Russians. He is going to accelerate away now. 3/10 up at the start. He is 3/10 up again, pulling away from Alexander Zubkov. Last year's runner-up, the year before the junior world champion. Max Arndt underlines his class. 148.1, best speed down at the bottom of the track. Will it be a track record? Not quite, but he wins the gold medal nevertheless. Relief and jubilation for Christoph Langen. Germany have won the 2-man gold and 4-man gold in St. Moritz. Marco Hubenbecker out on the wall celebrating, and Max Arndt is our 4-man world champion. Champagne being sprayed on them even as they came into the finish area. A big win for Max Arndt. Went away from the opposition, wins by nearly half a second over Alexander Zubkov of Russia. Stephen Holcomb, the defending 4-man world champion, takes the bronze medal here after a great second day of competition. Max Arndt, Marco Hubenbecker, Alexander Rödinger there, and Martin Putzer showered in champagne. Francesco Friedrich and Janis Becker winning the 2-man gold for Germany. Max Arndt, Marco Hubenbecker, Alex Rödinger and Martin Putzer win the 4-man. And every part of this run was what they needed. 5:02, their second fastest starts at a competition. Good run through the first corner. and a fantastic run through Horseshoe. Today he had himself totally dialed into this St. Moritz track. After a 9th place loose run in the second heat yesterday, dropped him out of the lead. He dominated day 2 of the Bauhaus FIBT World Championships to run away with the gold medal. Martin Putzer looks happy, as you would expect. And there is your final order. Max Arndt by nearly half a second from Alexander Zubkov. Great recovery by Steve Holcomb to snatch bronze away from Beard Hefty, John Jackson and Enrico Peter. Thomas Florschutz, Mani Mahata, Oskar Melbardis and Alexander Kasyanov of Russia round out our top 10. The fast 20 going through into the 4th and final heat of this World Championships. The crowd now starting to make their way down below the finish area for the presentations of the Martineau Trophy. A lot of noise at the top all the way through these heats, and a lot now down at the bottom as we recognise our World Championship podium. Let's catch up now with John Morgan.
Well, we're down here for our, not our flower ceremony, it's our champagne ceremony, and all the Prince Albert of Monaco will give away. Give me that. Prince Albert of Monaco will provide the trophy, the champagne, to the team Max Mill Art. Get right in there. Max gets the champagne. Thank you, Prince Albert. And now we go into our interviews. Steve Holcomb, Team Night Train. Nice comeback on the second day. Steve, really 2 good runs.
Well, the first round I made a huge mistake out of Horseshoe, and it cost us a lot. And second round we put together, these guys stepped up, never gave up, and broke the streak.
Congratulations, nice medal. Now we go to the second place team. Team Alexander Zubkov. Alexander, silver medal in St. Moritz.
Все хорошо. Ребята отработали, сделали все возможно, но Германия сильнее. Увы, пока.
Congratulations, Russia, silver medal. Max, boy, the 3rd run today, Max, was really why you won this medal.
Ja, es war einfach nur fantastisch heute. Die Jungs waren brutal oben. Gerade im ersten haben sie uns so geilen Speed mitgegeben. Die Läufe waren geil. Es ist einfach nur noch schön. Wir wollen einfach nur noch feiern. Danke.
Congratulations. Of course, he gives all the credit to his team. And now giving away the Martineau Cup, the World Championship trophy, to Team Max Arndt is the president of the International Bobsled Skeleton Federation, Ivo Ferriani.
The Martineau Cup presented to Max Arndt, Marco Hubenbecker, Alex Rödinger and Martin Putzer. And their names will join many, many illustrious teams on the Martineau Trophy at the end of a thrilling 4-man bobsleigh World Championships here in St. Moritz. My thanks to John Morgan, my partner throughout this fortnight, to the whole FIBT TV crew who have been here through icy cold and driving snow, and to you for joining us for one of the most exciting bobsleigh World Championships in memory. From me, Martin Haven, on behalf of everybody here in St. Moritz, for now, it's goodbye.